Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Brajajanarandana Jasodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Brajajanarandana Jasodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Gaur Pimanandi. What's the plan for the children this evening? Is there a plan? Here's our topic for this evening, prayers to Lord Ramachandra. If these lights can go down, that would be good. Thank you. Very good, very good, very good. Very good. One of the sections of Srimad Bhagavatam that's difficult to understand and fascinating at the same time is 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a description of the structure of the universe in language that's very difficult to understand. But one of the descriptions in that the Mount Meru, there's different, in Jambudvip, there are different sections or varshas. And one of those sections of Jambudvip is Kimpurusha Varsha. And Kimpurusha Varsha was given as the place of residence for Hanuman. As you know, after Lord Ramachandra reigned for tens of thousands of years, 60,000 years, along with his associates, we visited the place where he ended his pastimes, entered into the Sarayu River. But he left behind Hanuman. And he gave Hanuman a service so that he could stay connected with him. And the service given to Hanuman was to constantly offer and sing the glories and praises of Lord Ramachandra. Hanuman is an exalted personality. Although he had the body of a Vanara, a monkey, his qualification was utmost, topmost of devotees of Lord Ramachandra. The place where he was born, Anjanadri, the nice photograph of the place, and there's a description in, well, there's different Ramayanas, as we discussed yesterday evening, but in Valmiki Ramayana there's a whole section where the life and the history of Hanuman is narrated to Lord Ramachandra. And Agastya Rishi gives this explanation. On Mount Sumeru, there were the residence of a Vanara leader named Keshari, and Keshari had a wife, and Anjana was the wife of Keshari. So one time on the top of this hill, the wind god Vayu saw Anjana and became overwhelmingly attracted by her beauty, and in a mystic, invisible form, he had union with her, Anjana, and a child was conceived. So Hanuman is considered the son of Vayu. And when the child was born, Anjana was a very caring mother. She was taking the necessities of finding edibles for her son. She laid her son down on the side of a river bank by the side of some reeds while she went to get some edibles. And he looked in the sky and saw the sun. And he thought, the sun is a big fruit. And so, having the power like Vayu of traveling swiftly through the air, he sprang into the air, reaching out his arms in a desire to get this nice fruit. Now there are different versions of Ramayana, as already mentioned. And this is Agastya Muni's version in Valmiki Ramayana. As he was traveling in the sky, Rahu saw him coming, and it happened to be the occasion for a solar eclipse where Rahu was to, according to the arrangements of the Devas, Rahu was to be able to take as his food item from the sun. But he saw Hanuman soaring through space, so he went to stop him. And Hanuman not only could travel swiftly in space, but he was extremely powerful. He just pushed Rahu aside and kept going towards the sun. So Rahu went to complain to King Indra. Again, this is Agastya speaking. And he complained, said, it's the arrangement of the gods that I would have these special opportunities. And here comes another Rahu. He just brushed me to the side. Please do something. You're the king of heaven, king of the gods. So immediately Indra rose from his throne, mounted on his Airavata elephant carrier, and went charging to find Hanuman, and streaking through the sky, there goes Hanuman. And so Indra threw one of his thunderbolts and intercepted Hanuman's travel and hit him in the jaw with his thunderbolt. And Hanuman went tumbling down, and came in for a crash landing on the side of a mountain. And this news came to Vayu's attention. Vayu came and saw his son in that condition, and he became very, very angry. And so he, according to Agastya, he stopped the movement of life air within the whole universe. And everyone was suffering and suffering and suffering, and they pleaded with Vayu, why have you done this? Because Indra, the king of heaven, has used one of his powerful thunderbolts. He's killed my son. So, in retribution for his wicked act, Lord Brahma descended. Lord Brahma saw the child, and he placed his hand on the chest of the child, and the child rose. And then the air of life began to move again throughout the universe. And by this time, many demigods had assembled. And so, according to Agastya, Brahma requested each of them give some benediction to this amazing child, the son of Vayu. It's an important event because with these benedictions of the demigods, the rest of the life of Hanuman followed. Here's what Agastya said. Listen, O gods, as I tell you about this Vanara. He will accomplish your purpose on earth and become famous as a servant of Vishnu. You should therefore all grant him benedictions. So, this is a painting showing Indra giving a garland, his own garland. And from this day you shall be invulnerable to my thunderbolt. And then the sun god was also present. I shall bestow upon him 100th part of my brilliance. And when he begins to study the scriptures, he'll quickly understand everything. No one shall exceed him in scriptural understanding. Pretty good benediction, huh? Yamaraj granted him invulnerability from his cause of death. And he gave him freedom from all illnesses for the rest of his life. Nice benediction. Kuvera gave Hanuman the benediction he would never become weary in battle. Lord Shiva was there, and Lord Shiva showed his trident, and my trident and any of my other weapons, he'll be invincible against any of my weapons. Vishvakarma said, any celestial weapons that I have created, he'll never be put into difficulty, and he'll live a long life. And then finally, Lord Brahma gave his benedictions. You will be invincible in battle. You'll be a terror to all those who are your opponents, and a friend to all, a shelter for all of those who are your friends. You'll be able to change your form however you like. You'll be able to go wherever you like at any speed that you like. No Brahmana will be able to curse you. Your movements will be unimpeded by anyone, everyone. And amazing feats of strength will be accomplished by you. And eventually, you'll assist Ram in the destruction of Ravana. Because that was the indication that Brahma gave. The demigods had requested Lord Vishnu to appear. Hanuman was going to assist Lord Ram in destroying Ravana. So Anjana was very happy. She has her son back, and with all these benedictions given by the demigods. However, he was a little boy, and a little monkey boy at that, so he was doing monkey business here and there and everywhere. And the rishis had known that even they couldn't stop him because there was a prediction or a benediction that Brahmana's curses couldn't stop him. So they got together and had a Brahmin conference, and they decided that they would have him unable to remember all of the strengths that he had until sometime in the future when it was needed for him to exhibit his strengths, when his glories and his special powers and prowesses would be reminded of him, and then he would be able to perform all those things again. So he forgot, temporarily, by their arrangement, and he became very nice. And in the course of time, he made friendship with Sugriva, and this is Agastya, because, of course, from getting together with Sugriva, Hanuman could understand who Lord Ramachandra was. There's this nice description in Valmiki Ramayana that when Hanuman, we'll see a picture, a painting of Hanuman meeting Ram for the first time, and he had this quality that he could assume different forms and different disguises. So he disguised himself as a Brahmin, and he came because on top of the Kishkinda mountain, Sugriva saw him coming and was worried what's going on. So Hanuman was sent as the ambassador or messenger to find out. But when Hanuman came before Ram, he immediately could understand. He's not an enemy. He's the personality of Godhead. As soon as there was some conversation, so immediately Hanuman discarded his disguise or his type of communication. He could understand him right away. However, Sugriva was not the same. Sugriva wanted to test the power of Ram before he would accept his all-powerfulness and his ability to be a helpful friend. Rama understood his mentality and demonstrated his powers, and Sugriva was satisfied. When the two were first introduced, I forget the Sanskrit term, it's important, but Sugriva was very chivalrous in battle by his own endeavor, and Ram was very chivalrous in battle by his standing by the side of virtue and truth. So they were dear friends, they were powerful warriors, but with different strengths. It's from Valmiki Ramayana. Here's a painting indicating where the Vanaras were overlooking from the direction that Sampati. Sampati said that's the direction where Ramachandra, where Sita is. So they were all considering who can jump over and who can jump over, and nobody really knew. But when Jambavan, because Jambavan is one of the oldest, from the very, very beginning of creation, according to the Puranas, Jambavan, was the witness of Lord Vishnu killing Madhu and Kaitaba. That's how old Jambavan is. He's a Chiranjiva, as is Hanuman. So he reminded Hanuman of his childhood, the chasing after the sun, and his enormous strength. He was hit by the Shakti, the thunderbolt weapon of Indra, so that he fell from the sky. He reminded Hanuman when he was young, he assumed a huge body, so big, standing on mountain tops that he could hold an elephant by his leg and throw him around. And as Hanuman was hearing these glories, his body started to grow, becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and roaring very loudly, and positioned himself so he could jump across the ocean and face different obstacles as he's jumping across the ocean. And then using his powerful strength again, when the Shakti Shela, twice it happened, the Shakti Shela weapon, it was of Indrajit, wasn't it? Not Ravana. Huh? Yeah, Indrajit. So it struck Lakshmana, and the physician, this fellow here, needed a certain set of herbs. But Hanuman didn't know what herb from another herb, so he went to go get the whole mountain. And the Gandha Madana mountain was brought by Hanuman. There's a long story. I'm not going to narrate the long story of he was obstructed in a battle, and he overcame the opposition and picked up the mountain peak. And when the herb was, a set of herbs were administered to Lakshmana, immediately he revived. Then later, Lakshmana was pierced by a lance made by Mayadanava, according to this narration at least, hurled by Ravana. That happened again. And there goes Hanuman. Here the caption at the bottom says, Ram removing Ravana's javelin from the body of Lakshmana. So to heal the body of Lakshman, Hanuman went and gathered, at least this version, a different mountain by name, Mahodaya mountain, and very quickly came, and again there's Hanuman with carrying the mountain, Jambavan, Sugriva, and the other Vanaras, Ram and Lakshman. And Sushena gave the herbs to Lakshman, who then very quickly became revived. So, intimately serving Ram means intimately serving Ram's dear devotee and his brother Lakshmana, intimate, constant associate of Lord Ramachandra. Hanuman had this capacity to render any service that Ram wanted, including finding Sita and because he was an expert in speech, as a counselor, administrator, advisor, minister. He pacified Sita very, very expertly. So here's the reference. We're going to cut, there's 8 verses in these prayers, and this evening we'll just cover 4, and tomorrow we'll continue. Those people that aren't here tonight, too bad. We'll start up tomorrow. So Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, in Kim Purusha Varsha, the great devotee Hanuman is always engaged with the inhabitants of that land in devotional service to Lord Ramachandra, the elder brother of Lakshmana and dear husband of Sita Devi. Here's Hanuman in this one of his giant forms, just holding Ram in his hand. A host of Gandharvas is always engaged in chanting the glories of Lord Ramachandra. That chanting is always extremely auspicious. Hanumanji and Arishtashena, the chief person in Kim Purusha Varsha, constantly hear those glories with complete attention. Hanuman chants the following mantras. There he is with his musical instruments, singing and singing and singing and singing the glories of Lord Ramachandra. Here's the image of Hanuman in his disguise, the first time he met, just like so someone was asking a question the other day, that the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, oh, it was this morning. The pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan are the same as the pastimes of Krishna in Gokula, in the spiritual realm, in the manifest pastimes here. Except there aren't demons. But there's the mood of everything. The transcendental ecstasy or bhava is there in Ayodhya, same. And so Hanuman is an eternal associate of Lord Ramachandra. But just as Ramchandra had his pastime of appearance and his 3 brothers, Sita had her pastime of appearance. We also heard briefly the pastime of Hanuman and his making appearance. But it's all part of a pastime, including this pastime of Hanuman meeting for the first time. It's actually a very wonderful scene. Just like in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's such a lovely scene when Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meet for the first time. Now they're eternal associates. In the pastimes of Ram and Lakshman, they're born together. In the pastime of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're many years apart of age and born in different places, and they finally, some time later, they meet. It's a wonderful pastime. So similarly, wonderful pastime. This meeting, first time, of eternal associates. Very, very wonderful. Hanuman falls at Lord Ramachandra's feet. Nice B.G. Sharma painting. And immediately the eternal loving affection of Hanuman towards Ram, and in turn the love of Ram towards Hanuman, immediately manifest. Very significant when all the Vanaras are sent to go look for Sita. It's Hanuman who Lord Ramachandra gives his ring to, places it in the care of Hanuman, saying, when you find Sita, show her this ring. She'll know that you're representing me, because when she sees you in this form, she may not know whether to trust you or not. Maybe it's a trick. But you show her this ring, and she'll know. You're my messenger. So very, very valued and trusted representative from the very beginning of their pastimes. So here's how he begins. Om Namo Bhagavate Uttama Shlokaya. Prabhupada's translated it this way. Let me please your Lordship by chanting the Bija mantra Omkara. I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, who is the best among the most highly elevated personalities. Your Lordship is the reservoir of all the good qualities of Aryans, people who are advanced. Your character and behavior are always consistent, and you always control your senses and mind. Acting just like an ordinary human being, you exhibit exemplary character to teach others how to behave. There is a touchstone that can be used to examine the quality of gold, but you are like a touchstone that can verify all good qualities. You are worshipped by Brahmanas, who are the foremost of all devotees. You, the Supreme Person, are the King of Kings, and therefore I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. When reading prayers, aside from hearing the glories of the person that's being spoken about, we hear something about the heart and the realization of the person who's offering the prayers. In bhakti there's a relationship. There's the bhakta and the object of devotion, the supreme, and the exchange of love between the two. From the side of the bhakta is service and glorification, and the part of the Supreme Lord is he reciprocates with the devotee's mood of love. That's the nature of a loving relationship on the spiritual plane. So we learned it's good. I have found this to be very, very valuable from studying the series of prayers. I'll just say this. Long ago, there was, being inspired by the Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education that lasted for a month, I gathered some scholarly devotees, Rabindra Swarup Prabhu and Hridayananda Maharaj and Krishna Kshetra, now Swami, and many others, and we had a Gitanagari Institute for 2 weeks, and then it was tough for people, so it became 1 week, and that was tough for people, so it became 3 days. Sometime during the summer. So one of the sessions for that week-long event in Gitanagari, I think it'd be nice to have a seminar on the prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam. Nice topic. I was overwhelmed because more than half of the verses in the Bhagavatam are prayers. Yikes. And so I started studying sets of prayers. And then in the course of time I've done more of the same. And like Canto 10, Chapter 2, prayers by the demigods to Lord Krishna in the womb. Whole chapter. You find out a lot about Krishna, you find a lot about the demigods. Or another is the prayers by the demigods to Lord Nrsingadev to pacify him. You find out a lot about Lord Nrsingadev. You find a lot about the particular relationship of different demigods and their consciousness and their relationship with Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna or Lord Nrsingadev. So this tells a lot about Hanuman. And he's certainly he's a Ram Bhakta. And his mood is dasya. So he sees the majesty. And along with majesty, there's the intimacy of the servant. He has an intimacy with Lord Ramachandra. Because of that intimacy, he can understand things that those that don't have that intimacy can't understand. He can understand his moods. He can understand his priorities. He can understand all kinds of things about Lord Ramachandra because of that intimacy. So here he's speaking, one part is his divinity, and then another part is his way by appearing as if he's not divine, he's not the supreme, but like a human being, he's giving valuable instructions by his speech and his behavior to people of this world so they can understand how to live their lives. The ideal king. Prabhupada explained like this: each time a form of the Lord appears, particularly the Leela avatars, there's the three things that all the forms of the Supreme Lord do: protecting the devotees and admonishing the demons and establishing principles of religion. But there's some particular gift or mark or special feature that each of the, particularly the Leela avatars, exhibit. So Ram is the ideal king, the emblem of virtue, uncompromisingly faithful to the principles of ideal rulership. So, Ram Raja, honored by, loved by everybody. So he's teaching, as it's said here, your character and behavior are always consistent. Oh. Acting just like an ordinary human being, you exhibit exemplary character to teach others how to behave. He's the standard for all good qualities. He's the embodiment of all good qualities. Amongst all kings, he's the emperor of kings. He's the Supreme Lord. Reservoir of all good qualities found in the Aryans. We find him always pictured with his arrow and a bow, because he used his bow to quell or diminish the influence of the demoniac, particularly Ravana, but the Rakshasas and so many others. And the power of his skill with bow and arrows, mentioned before, he showed to Sugriva. With one arrow, he pierced 7 sal trees. Now, I don't know what a sal tree looks like, but I've been told that it's like here in the West we have oak trees. It's hardwood, and sal trees are really thick and really hard, and to cut them down is like impossible. What to speak of firing an arrow through a sal tree, and 7 sal trees, and then down to the abode of the bottom of the universe, and then back again. Well, who can do that? So for those that are worldly people, it's mythology. And for those who are devotees, it's an exhibition of the unlimited opulence and power of the personality of Godhead. And for Sugriva, it's, wow, you're good. I think you can help me. And not only his own bow, but of course, very dramatic in the pastimes of Rama is the breaking of the bow of Lord Shiva. The way it's described in Ramayana, the sound of the breaking of the bow was so loud that people were just knocked over, the reverberation of the sound. There's Sita ready to garland Lord Rama. And then an old painting, kind of skinny little cart compared to the size of the bow we saw on the other. But Vishwamitra, overseeing Lord Rama as he's breaking the bow, and Lakshman by his side, and King Janak. One of those must be Sita, but this little girl holding on to him, I don't know who that one is. There's a photograph of Janaka Puri, kingdom of Janaka, and at least the way that it looks today. Although Ramachandra was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there's different explanations for this. We mentioned it yesterday evening that Valmiki Ramayana does not have this event of Lord Ram worshipping Lord Shiva. And there's different explanations from different perspectives on all of that. One of them is that the personality of Godhead, like Krishna did with Arjuna. Krishna had Arjuna fight the Kurukshetra battle and take the credit when it was actually he who did it. Or when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear the highest of truths, he had Ramananda Roy speak, although Ramananda Roy was very clear, I am like a puppet and you're making me speak. Or in Harinam Chintamani, Haridas Thakur, the Acharya for the Holy Name, speaks the glories of the Holy Name, although it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is the deliverer of the Holy Name. So, point is, the Lord likes to honor his devotees. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled in South India visiting many, many places, many of the places he visited were temples of Lord Shiva. And when he saw the deity of Lord Shiva, he was in ecstasy and would dance in ecstasy. And similarly, in this Skanda Purana section describing the relationship of Lord Shiva with Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri, both Bhubaneswar and the many Shiva temples that are right there in Jagannath Puri. You know, today's Shaivites and Vaishnavas may have quarrels with each other, but in Skanda Purana, Skanda's son of Lord Shiva, it's very clear the position that Lord Shiva takes in his role in Purukshotam Kshetra. It's a long narration, spoken by Jaimini Rishi to the sages. In any case, the Shiva Linga was fashioned. One of the versions of Ramayana is, on his return from having killed Ravana, Rama wanted to atone for his sin of killing a Brahmana, because Ravana was born in a Brahmana family. Now, he's the personality of Godhead, but Ravana is a demon. He's not a Brahmana. He's a demon. But to show ideal character, he wanted to atone for the sin of killing a Brahmana. And so there's details and details, but in order to, Hanuman was sent to get this very, very special Shiva of Lord Shiva, but he didn't return in time, and so Sita fashioned a particular Shiva Linga, and Ram was worshipping that Shiva Linga. This is Hanuman coming later. It's a long, long narration. Hanuman comes later, and so both of them were established in the same vicinity. Some say this term Rameshwara indicates that Ram is worshipping Lord Shiva. However, others say Rameshwara indicates that he is a great personality, Lord Shiva, who worships the deity of Lord Ram. The Lord, this is the Vaishnava perspective, obviously, but Rama, Ishvara, Lord Shiva sees Lord Rama as his Ishvara, and therefore Rameshwara Mahadev. This is a photo of the place where Ram was worshipping Lord Shiva. Ram showed his power. Again, there's different versions of Ramayana. One of the versions of Ramayana is, by the glance of Ram, the ocean boiled. These are examples of the unique position of Lord Ramachandra and the power of Lord Ramachandra. Now, he didn't need anyone's help to cross the ocean, but he was giving Samudra an opportunity to render some service. And he didn't come. And so after 3 days, just by glancing, other versions say he fired an arrow into the ocean, and the ocean personified then came before him. I didn't understand who you were. Please, is there some way that I can serve you? Yes, you can assist me cross the ocean. So an arrangement was made. So Ram could be successful bringing the whole Vanara army to Lanka. And here's the fourth prayer. The Lord, whose pure form, Sat-Chit Ananda Vigraha, is uncontaminated by the modes of material nature, can be perceived by pure consciousness. In the Vedanta, he is described as being one without a second. Because of his spiritual potency, he is untouched by the contamination of material nature, and because he is not subjected to material vision, he is known as transcendental. He has no material activities, nor has he a material form or name. Only in pure consciousness, Krishna consciousness, can one perceive the transcendental form of the Lord. Let us be firmly fixed at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra, and let us offer our respectful obeisances unto those transcendental lotus feet. Hanuman's an unflinching devotee. So he understands the transcendental nature of the personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra. And in hearing how he is describing Lord Ramachandra, it reminds me a little of how Uddhava speaks of Krishna. Uddhava speaks about Krishna in the beginning part of Canto 3. And in Uddhava's words, or Uddhava's mood, it pains him very much when people see Krishna as an ordinary person. It troubles his heart very, very much. He's such an intimate associate of Krishna. He knows Krishna's divinity. At the same time, it's this interesting balancing act where he is intimate and understands the divinity of Krishna at the same time. In other words, when intimacy grows, the special glories of someone may be diminished because you're so close to that person. Like the residents of Vrindavan, they don't see Krishna as God. Uddhava, outside of Vrindavan, is the most exalted person, and he clearly understands Krishna. He knows Krishna better than anybody. And it pains him very much when people see him as ordinary. And part of Krishna's pastimes, where he speaks or acts as if he's ordinary, it pains him very much because some people think, aha, he's ordinary. That's Uddhava. Now, in Hanuman's case, he clearly understands the divinity, the transcendental position. No material name, no material form, no material qualities. He's fully transcendental. He appears in the world as if he's human and teaches people by his humanness. But the only way that one can understand him is through pure devotion. And therefore, he speaks of, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto those transcendental lotus feet. Now, take a look at the picture, and there's no Anantashesha because there's Lakshmana over there guarding Lord Rama. But if it was Lord Vishnu, it's like Lord Vishnu reclining and the goddess of fortune at his lotus feet. Except that there's Anantashesha over there guarding Lord Rama. So the bhava is quite similar, but the intimacy is even greater. Because here they are, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, banished to the forest wearing tree bark, because he doesn't have tree bark here, and in exile, and the goddess of fortune is with him. So, and him protecting her, and so many confidential and intimate dealings. The pastimes of Ram are so very, very special. And his lotus feet are so very, very special. There's this wonderful description of Guha wanting to wash Lord Ramachandra's feet. When the attempt was made, well, here's another image. The Nishada king. Here's another image of the same B.G. Sharma painting. We went to this place where, when we were in our travels visiting Ayodhya, where Lord Ramachandra crossed the river. There's this description, it's a little detailed, but when Guha is requested by Ram to make an arrangement to cross the river, Sita is seated in the boat, Lakshman is ready to accompany Sita, and when Ram starts to step on the boatman cries out loudly, "No, no, no, I'll be destroyed, don't." So Ram stops. Guha's like shocked and embarrassed. What was he talking? So Ram said, "My dear sir, what's the difficulty?" He said, "I heard what happened. When you stepped on a stone, the stone turned into a woman. And I'm a poor man, I already have a wife. You step on my boat, I'll have another wife. What am I going to say to my wife?" So Ram smiled and said, "Well, what do you want to do?" He said, "The only thing that I can think is I have to wash up all the dust from your feet, because it's the dust from your lotus feet that's the problem. Take all that dust off." So Sita was shocked to hear what he was saying. And he washed his feet and washed his feet again, washed his feet again, and then he started drinking the water and sprinkling the water on his family members and all the people, and smiling and smiling. And Sita was very disturbed, but Ram could understand his mood. Then he got on the boat. Then he got to the other shore. And as they were departing from the boat, Ram was unhappy. And Sita could understand why he was unhappy, because he was accustomed to, when receiving some service from someone, to honor that person he received some service from. But he had nothing because he was living in the forest. So he didn't say anything, but Sita understood. And so she had some ornaments. There's a long description of how she had some ornaments, but there was an arrangement so that she could have some ornaments. So she offered to the boatman some ornaments from hers. And the boatman said, "No, no, 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 no." Just simply having the opportunity to carry Lord Ramachandra to this other side of the river, that's the happiness. That's just allow me to be engaged in his service. So Ram could appreciate, although he did this tricky thing, it's just in the mood of service of Ram. Each devotee of Ram having a different mood. That's natural. And in this location is where Guha requested, let me just be eternally engaged in your service. And is the washing of Lord Ramachandra's feet. So we'll save the other 4 verses for tomorrow. I didn't know exactly how to gauge it. The details of Ram's pastimes are so wonderful. Part of the beauty of the pastimes is hearing the details and the details. And I didn't do that this evening because I didn't know we'd be able to cover everything. But I'll be a little more expanded tomorrow, I think, because the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra are very, very beautiful, very wonderful, and very instructive. So I'll make a better attempt tomorrow. More of the details. Any discussion or comments from everybody? Yes?
Maharaj, I remember you mentioning sometime that bhakti comes from bhakta, as is the case with Narada Muni imparting devotion to Prahlad Maharaj. How did it happen in the case of Hanuman?
Vayu. And Hanuman's an eternal associate, just as we heard the indication that he would learn, from the sun god, he would learn very quickly. So whoever were those who instructed him, they were qualified instructors, Vaishnava instructors. He learned from them also. Now, the detail, the question you're asking is a detail, and quite honestly, I don't know, other than the father naturally instructs his son. He was attached to Hanuman. But at least we can know for sure, in principle. Anything else? Okay. In that case,